Hey everyone, welcome back. It is Sunday, October 16th right now, and it's been a week since I got the, actually not even quite a week, about 6 days since I got the citrus trees in and got my system set up here. Yeah, 6 days since I gotten everything set up. So I'm going to take a look here and see how everything's doing. I mean, I already know how it's doing. I've been looking at it. It's been working really well. There's a couple things I've had to modify, but I'll show you here. Okay, so here's my citrus trees. It's in the middle of the day because I run these lights at night. And again, we have right up here, you see this is plugged in. Basically, I have it turn on at 5 in the evening and off at 9 in the morning because these put out so much heat here that it helps during the night because that's the coldest part. So that way that little heater right there doesn't have to work as hard. And so anyway, just a quick recap. We got and I know this looks gross, but it's because I put so much stuff in it. So in here I have Miracle Grow. It's a liquid Miracle Grow, right? This is a 55-gallon tub, and I put some Miracle Grow in it. Now, in addition to the Miracle Grow, I also got this thing called Max Pack. And this Max Pack is just the micronutrients. You see sulfur, boron, cobalt, copper. This is all stuff that's hard to find. Iron, manganese, molybdenum, and zinc. So I put a little bit of this in all the time, as well as a little bit of organic material. Now, let's see if I can get this other one open here. Now this one, here, let me pause it real quick. There we go, I got it open. So now this one is a little different one. By the way, both of these are a little bit hard to find. It was a pain in the butt to find this stuff. But this is what this other one is. First of all, it's organic material and it stinks. It's made out of, I don't know, it smells like fish is what it smells like. So you see there's just a little bit of nitrogen, just a little bit of potash, but again you have your iron, and then you have humic acid, and what that does is that goes into the soil here in this, and it helps break down all the organic material in the soil, so that way plants can use it, right? And then a little bit of glucose. There's a lot of carbohydrates in here, and basically that's the whole point of it, is it gives it all the extra stuff that NPK doesn't give it. So, and this is called, again, Essentials Plus 101. That was hard to find, and as far as I know, there's only one place out of Missouri that sells this. It's called, the company is, let's find it, yeah, the company is called Humagrow Turf, and it's called Max Pack. This stuff's really hard to find. I could only find it at one place. So, this brown line that you see coming up, that goes up in here, it comes up into the pump, and that pump has a pressure switch, so it's pressurized right now to 55 psi, and a little strainer there. So it's pressurized to 55 psi, and then an automatic watering system, and I have a program, and you'll see it's 3:08 right now on Sunday, and the next time it kicks on is 4:30 on Sunday today. So that's the next start time, so about an hour and a half from right now, and it'll kick on for 2 minutes. That's the way I have it set. So now, it'll come out of this guy and then over here, and then basically it comes down here, and then it branches off into these two guys, comes across, branches off into, again, that one and this one, and then the last branch comes over, branches into that one, and then the return line comes all the way back over here to this guy right here. Now, most of the water comes back via the return line, and it comes down and it agitates the whole thing. And that's really nice because it keeps everything mixed up. Now, one thing, so it's been not even a week. Now, keep in mind, these things were in its dormancy phase. So I was just looking, and everything looks really nice. First of all, I put this where it was at, where the top of this leaf was, so it's already gone up just a little bit right there, not much. And let me look. So a couple things that I noticed is right in there. That's starting to come on right now. It's this little guy right in here. That wasn't there. And I think there's a new one right back in there. And now this guy has all kinds of, if I can get my camera to focus. Yeah, it won't focus that close. But anyway, this guy, almost every single one of them has a bunch of them coming out now. So this one's really, really taking off. right now. Now all the others, in fact, almost every one is putting on growth. So that's making me a little nervous because we're a week in and the entire thing just came back to life. You know, I mean, it wasn't dead, but it came back to life as far as putting on, you know, new shoots and everything else. Now I'm wondering, because these things are relatively hot and I don't have much room, and if they grow too much, then I'm going to have to figure out a way to take these up even higher and this one up even higher, because otherwise it's going to be scorching the leaves if these get too tall. So, but I was looking at this guy, and like I said, it's just, everything's looking really nice on it. It's starting to really grow again. It had kind of gone dormant because it's been getting a little bit cooler here. How's it looking here? These have been getting a little cooler, and it's back out of that phase. Yep, and it's starting to grow again. And with all the stuff that I'm pounding into, oh, by the way, there's a little weed that made it in. It was just barely a one leaf last week, and you can see how much it's grown. And it's kind of nice putting that there for, you know, for just so I can see relative terms. But yeah, I put a stake in each one of these so you can see the height. And you can see the height, so the height hasn't really gotten a whole lot. You can see the height of each stake with the leaves. That one's actually gotten a little bit taller since I put it in there, just so that way I can keep an eye on it. One thing I did add since you were here, because I had a fan. I didn't have this fan at first, but it was just really stagnant air in here. And we had this one that was here that wasn't doing anything. So I'm like, let me just put it in there. And also this heater, the thermostat on these heaters is absolutely terrible. Sometimes it would kick on at 70 degrees, and the other times it would kick on at 85 and run it up to 90 degrees. It was so inconsistent. So what I did was I just cranked the thermostat all the way to max, and then I have it powered off of this guy right here. So this is, let's see if you can read it. Anyway, it says heater and cooler. And so anyway, what I do is I set it, so I have it set to turn on this outlet once it gets below 78, and then once it gets up to 80, it turns off power, and this light right here will show up when this outlet is charging, and this one for cooling is for this outlet. So if I wanted to have an exhaust fan, which I don't have, but if I wanted to, I could have the exhaust fan at like 85 degrees if I'm trying to keep it at 80, so that way if it gets too hot, then it'll kick on and get all this air out of here. But as of right now, I got this little controller. It's like $17. By the way, everything here is on Amazon. You know, it's nothing is that impressive. And this guy this is coming out of as a temperature probe, and I just mounted it right onto the wall. I didn't even mount it. This is a plastic building, so I cleaned up a little spot there and just stuck it there. But yeah, so this kicks on at 78 degrees. Once it gets down to 78, and that shuts off at 80. So that works pretty nice. And then I can keep track of it inside. This is my app. So on my app, I have this, I can actually keep an eye, having a hard time with words today. I can actually keep track of the humidity and the temperature inside of here, just to make sure everything's running. So, but everything looks really nice, and now it does kind of smell because of this stuff. It kind of smells in here like fish. So I'm gonna get out of here, but that's kind of the update. It's working really well, a lot better than I thought it would, actually. I didn't figure it would start growing right now. I thought it would take about a month or so before it, kicked the citrus trees again, and before they started working again. So I was kind of guessing about a month. I was way off on that. It took a week, not even a week, before it started growing more. So now I'm a little nervous that they're gonna get to be too big. And usually you have, if you guys don't know this, usually what you have with a lot of things, like for example, the apple trees, blueberries, blackberries, and most fruit, with the exception of citrus, it requires a certain amount of chill hours. That's time that it goes below 45 degrees every year. It needs a certain amount of chill hours on most of this fruit before it'll put on fruit the next year, because if it doesn't get enough chill hours, it just thinks that it hasn't gotten to winter yet, and so it won't put on fruit the next year. It might throw on leaves again, but it won't put on fruit. Most of the stuff like apples are, depending on the breed, of course, it's like 1,000 hours, 1,200 hours. My blueberries are like 500 or 600. And basically, if you get down to southern Georgia and Florida, you can't grow a lot of types of apples because it doesn't get enough chill hours. But here we still get enough chill hours because we're up in the mountains. Well, say up in the mountains, not really up in the mountains. But these citrus trees don't require chill hours. And since they don't require chill hours, then they go off of more the amount of light and the amount of rain and the temperature differential at night and everything. So basically what I am going to do is I'm going to keep track of these. I'm going to keep growing them all winter long. And then probably mid-February or late February, what I'll do is I'll take the temperature way down to simulate winter, but I mean still above freezing, down to like 45 or 50 degrees. And then I'll just leave them. Now they'll stop growing, but at the same time, I'll leave them there for about a month, and then I'm going to pull them out and put them back outside then. And at that point, they should put on fruit this year, and they've already gotten huge. I can't believe how big they've gotten in 1 year. So, and if I do this again another year, I think I'm gonna have to get a different building because this is already almost too big for the building. So anyway, that's the update. Again, today's October 16th. And everything's working really nicely here. If you guys have any questions or comments, by the way, somebody did mention I'm using the red blue. They're largely red blue. They do have some green wavelengths and some other things, but basically we've been looking, and I did some research on this, and it looks like I'm going to be getting some more trees to put in here. If I'm already heating the building, I might as well get some more trees and some more things to put in here. But instead of getting the red blue that looks, you know, purple, then I'll just be getting the white light, the full spectrum white LEDs, the Samsungs actually. Because I guess Samsung makes some really good grow LEDs, and there's some lights that use it. They're more expensive, but it's actual legitimate full spectrum, and it's white, so it doesn't sit there and kill your eyes, you know, while you're watching it. So anyway, if you like this content, like and subscribe. Otherwise, hope everybody has a good week, and we'll see you next time.